just fine. And we're just fine. Oh! Didn't realize that my diary was recorded already. Well, how you doing, diary? Or the universe? Or the world? Or all the other people out there? Especially myself, because I like to talk to myself a lot. But anyway, as people like to know, I digress a lot. Welcome to Miners Madness. This is James, your host for tonight's evening show. I welcome you to join me as I just kind of share a few little things about Forrest, Fenn, the thrill of the chase, and me. But more so Forrest, Fenn, and the thrill of the chase. And I guess, in a sense, my idea, I guess, that I'm gonna throw out there is about people who were looking at the thrill of the chase only at the poem and a treasure hunt, or people who were looking at the thrill of the chase as a treasure hunt that a poem is led to by stories from somebody. Which, I mean, in a sense, in my little book I'll show you, diary, is some ideas that were rolling through my head about how to progress forward as I try to as I go with today's terminology, I'm reimagining my sharing of my solve or location of where I thought Forrest Fenn might have went and hid a valuable wealth of treasure, a trove of jewels, and also information in that book he called The Thrill of the Chase, which is a very interesting book indeed. It is inspired a lot and a lot of people in such a positive way, and that is an awesome thing. And I can see how it has that inspiration from other people have inspired me in so many other different ways. And I appreciate everybody out there for stopping by, or whoever's taking a gander or is giving a wave or said hi. We appreciate y'all, because all of you guys out there, besides myself and me, myself and I, and then Kiwi sometimes when she's out there, she's not, so she's right there until, the undreadful day, which would be dreadful, but she'll be like forever in a sense. But that's kind of like the thrill of the chase. Anyhow, but it does say the title is Forrest or Not to Forrest. That is the question. And I'm going to get to that, and it's just a shadow. I'm going to get to that. So, on this train ride, I hope you grab yourself some drinks. I got a drink right here. Milk. Milk does a body good. And if you don't drink milk, well, I wish you could. Unless you don't like milk. And then, I hope you drink whatever you like. But, milk is next. I like milk. Milk is good. Growing up, you only had milk for cereal, and that was it. And so, and especially the powdered milk, you just, ugh. But so you have value in milk. It just tastes so good. We are all in this together for sure, because you're part of my universe, and I'm a part of your universe now, because we're intermingling on this whole social universe, digital world we call the internet, for now. But I digress. So, speaking of which, about digression, like I said, I hope you grabbed your go bags. So that's your food, your water, snacks, paraphernalia, whatever else have you. Blankets and pillows are very important, because I do put people to sleep. They tend to nod off and drift away from this show, but that's okay, because we're going to make sense of it sooner or later at some point in our lives, which may not be tonight, but you never know. I mean, there is still that Forrest fenn coin giveaway that's out there. If you noticed, I didn't pin it because, my inner self. Anyhow, as I was out and about, I decided, since reviewing the thrill of the chase and how I got to where I got. I mean, there's, 27-ish non-chapter sections in the thrill of the chase. I only got 24 colors, so I'm going to have to be picky and choosy and reuse. But this is very important. I also, as I was out, I was like, if I'm trying to, the whiteboard of death, if I'm trying to explain how a person uses the thrill of the chase to get, or a poem, or both, or either or one or the other, to get to a chest, all of this, I've kind of like went and decided that I'm going to do to help me along the way is I've gotten little boards. I just love whiteboards. I mean, like, if you haven't seen my shed, which, moment of silence for these memories will be taken down and stowed away. A 5-year journey that was white blank papers, and walls were filled in with black lines that, through self-exploration and external tools and resources and people, have shaped and changed my life in such a positive way that it's all written down, and I gotta take it all down and roll it up and put it away. But there's Colorado. There's a, not, I could have looked up how to spell these, and I probably spelled them wrong because I don't care about spelling. If you can get the idea, Montana. I almost put like Montana. Oh, we have this. Oh, so I also did colors like on the states. And that's just personal bias. Like this one's in blue for New Mexico, but it's blank. There's a reason why it's blank. We're gonna fill that in together, you and I, as me and myself and I and whoever else is on board this train that is already rolling. I hope you put your coins out, because this train always is rolling and never stops. If people haven't figured that one out, I apologize. Oh, so I did Wyoming, and I did it in green because on the master, the bigger picture board, as I'm going to call it, the master plan is the colors. Green is me, so the green, kiwi, green. Blue is Forrest, because somebody actually responded in chat to color picking, and so blue is Forrest. Purple is like all other information. That's like not me, not Forrest, all other information. I mean, scrapbooks, other people, friends, family of Forrest, other YouTubers, other internet paraphernalia sites and stuff like that. I mean, this is all important stuff. I mean, there's a rhyme and a reason. Oh, if I don't respond to you in chat, please don't be discouraged. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I have this massive, long train of an engine and a caboose that, takes a lot of concentration to command and control. And so but I do try to, go in between chat and my own thoughts. So I guess I'll go to chat right now. What we got? We got people in here. Oh, my Lanta. There's other people listening to me talk about Forrest Fenn. And I guess Forrest Fenn, to figure out why somebody would sit there and name a title Forrest or not to Forrest. Which is a very good question, which I'll get to here in a second. But we got people in chat. Newman. Now. And Andrea, and Andre. I mean, I'm probably saying that wrong and pronouncing it wrong, but I apologize. Like, I went to school and I graduated, but that didn't mean I learned a thing. I say that right now. Oh, cough. You make me laugh. Hold on. Is there a mute button? Okay, unmute. I apologize, but I'm learning to use that mute button. I do got a cough shot, man, to help with this. I mean, the wife did go down to uh, some seminar in some fancy place south of the border and came back with something. So now I probably got that something. But there's a whole lot of something out there in the world. I'll tell you what, came from something. But we ain't gonna get on that. We'll throw that in the burner, the coal pit, so it gets burned up in the. Or we'll throw that underneath the train because that's where all conspiracy theories go. Underneath the train to get broken up, about the disease, come from a certain country, trying to kill off all their enemies and whatnots, and who hasn't done it before? Paid attention to history. I know about the powdered milk. Oh yeah, yeah, nasty stuff, ain't it? Well, the Weevils were just extra vitamins. You know what I mean? You just pretended that it was like Rice Krispie treat or something in there. Internal exploration of external perception. That is true, and that I think that's a very important uh, aspect when looking at the Forrest Fenn thrill the chase, and then which kind of turned around to myself, which was uh, looking at myself and my life. So I mean, there's Forrest Fenn, there's myself, and now there's a chest out there, the thrill of the chase. Ooh, some goodies. So it's for me a Trinidad, a trifecta of goodness. Let's see if we can't make something happen. You know what I mean? I'll say I get see when I start reading comments, and I like lose total control of the train. So people on top of the train, and you go up there. There's now non-slip surfaces. I had to go over and paint the top because somebody apparently slid off the top because they had like something, some kind of slippery shoes or boots or non-stick footwear apparently. So uh, please be cautious up there. If you don't know what I mean, ask somebody else inside the chat who's been around. They might let you know how to get up to the roof of the train. And of course, first aid kit's at the bottom. Anyhow, see, that's what happened. Digression. Go from train to chat. But the the internal exploration. I mean, you're talking about learning yourself, who you are as a person, to even include your body, your senses, learning to learn more about them, learning how they affect your body in different ways. And there's rhymes and reasons for it all, including food and all that stuff. I mean, those are external that we take internal, and then it actually has internal happenings going on. But of the external perception is, I mean, everything we are perceiving is a type of energy that we are perceiving in what I like to call the six senses. I mean, emotion that you have, I refer to as that sixth sense that you have, the intuition, the gut feeling, because you have your standard five senses, what you see, you hear, those are your like two strongest. I would say your sight is probably one of your biggest perception tools that our body or mind, ourselves, of who we are, uh, perceive the world with. Taste and touch come like, a little bit down. I think Forrest talking about something about being brass, and then how does somebody know if the brass is cold or hot? And it's because you have to touch it in order to, the senses. But when you get into that situation of something, and then You have that feeling, that emotion inside. That to me is your sixth sense. Your body, your entire body, your mind, body, and soul coming together saying, hey, there's something, either good or positive happening, etc. But yeah, I'll see, off track. But it's all important because it's very important. And I think when I show this next whiteboard, it'll make sense of how important what you're saying is. Oh, well, thank you for that. If you have any questions about anything that you see here, I mean, there's more down here. I mean, it could tilt, but then you wouldn't see that. But then you wouldn't see, like, I'm already losing half of my flag. But there's a lot of. I'm about exploring and learning about history. A lot of history, and the pirates along the way. Forrest Fenn just happened to be part of that history telling. So I appreciate that, and it's one of the things I like, and I've learned to look forward to, hoping for, and have changed it, in a sense of, is that something to do, that time consumer, that time filler, that void filler, if you like, or that this mental distraction is to get out there and find history, so that I'm now encapsulated in somebody else's footsteps, somebody else's journey, and learning about that time frame and connecting my time frame to then, etc., etc. Me and Kiwi, we love hunting history. I mean, if you haven't seen, there's pictures of her out there on her metal detector, and when you're out there metal detecting. She was part of what got me out there. She was also what was part of changing that perspective when looking at the thrill of the chase. And that's in a sense, people would sit there and say, well, Forrest would be called a maverick. A maverick flies. If you're looking at something right off the bat in front of you, I mean, that's one perception. I'm looking for a chest out there in 4 states, But if I change my perspective into a different direction, then that becomes it's not so big, or it becomes so big, etc. Blah, 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 blah. They're really digressing. Somebody needs to shovel some coals up inside that front boiler so we can get some smoke blowing around this room. Anyhow, but it brings me down because, as I discussed Forrest Fenn, the thrill of the chase, and how I got to where I was searching, which was a rock along the Madison River in Montana and Wyoming and Yellowstone. So it's not about how I got there in the long run or the short run, so much as, can I tell this story appropriately or correctly enough, in a sense that would make somebody else who hasn't been down the journey of the thrill of the chase to come along for the re-journey, so to speak. And I guess that's, kind of, if it makes sense, then it makes sense, you know what I mean? And I looked at the thrill of the chase with logic and emotion, and I don't know, it's just my brain thoughts, my brain pattern, and my train of thought, and this is how I got to where I was going, you know what I mean? And I invite anybody to come along for the ride. And I mean, it's I've had 2 people come along for the ride, and I'm just curious if I could get a third person to come along for the ride. Is pretty much how that's like another new time filler. So this whole book discussion, or readdressing the book, or going over the book that I read in 2019, and I was marking up all the way up through the early summers, mid summers of 2019, and then 2020 happened. And it's like, oh well, I mean that was back then. This is now, and it's how did I get from there to here, and how did I get from the introduction to the chase and where I was searching to find out that I was just that close. And it makes me wonder how many other people were just that close along with me. So it's like, I guess you could say, like a two-part thing. It's like, so how many others were searching there, and how did they search, etc. But I mean, because everybody has a search area. I just wonder how many people searched the same area that I was looking in, and why they were happened to be looking in the same spot ish. But just, would you come along for the journey, just to come along and see? And it's, how did I get there? But so I had another whiteboard. Oh, here it is. This other whiteboard. So I'll kind of read it, since it's, you know. So at the top I have should be like, is it possible to have the chest from just the poem and a map? And the answer is unequivocally would have to be yes. And the basis of that answer would be on either a truth or a lie. You have to look at the thrill of the chase, a chest out there, a story that an old man's telling. Is it true, or is it a lie? So if it's a lie, then don't even worry about looking for the chest. Don't even worry about reading his books. Don't even worry about anything to do with the thrill of the chase, because if it's all a lie, then you would have no need for it. But if you believe it, then there's a need to prove that belief, I guess, that what you were looking into was true. And for me, yeah, it's true. If you have a map that apparently a man said he's been in 4 states, then yes, it's true that you could find his chest by using the poem and a map. Now, you could sit there and, like I've said before, it might take you quite a long time to try to narrow down a 10-inch by 10-inch spot to look. I mean, it's almost like a needle in a haystack, or is it? Because who doesn't like haystacks? Like haystack onions, like haystack pancakes, like 8-tier tall. I don't like pancakes. They're too much of a filler. Like, I mean, here's a bunch of dough. Eat it, be full. Real cheap, but we're going to charge you a lot. But anyway, so the whole premise is, if you say yes, that you can find a chest with just a map and a poem, then you would have to say that it's true, that it could be found in any and all 4 states. Or if you believe it's a lie, then no, you don't need a poem or a map or a book or anything, because there's nothing out there. You don't believe it. So it kind of becomes a matter of, do you believe in something enough, or do you not believe in something enough? And it kind of goes along with, did I believe Forrest enough in his story that I went looking for something that he said he lost? Now, not lost. He mislaid it. He mislaid property for intended for future use in a location on public land, regardless of who it's maintained by. At least that's how I look at it. It's not an issue unless you make it an issue, I think. But anyhow, then you would have to say that no, all 4 states, neither state, doesn't matter, because it's a lie. No chest, no chase, no nothing. So it doesn't matter about Forrest fenn, blah 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 blah. But yeah, I mean, you could do it with a poem and a map. Yes, it would take you forever, or a very very long time. And the reason why I say that is, if you say yes, that he's been to one or all four states, apparently, because there's a chest in one or all four states. You know what I mean? It's one of those four states. It's that simple. But it apparently, the whole story encompasses four states that it possibly could be in, which means you believe it possibly could be in one state, or all states. You truly believe that it could be in one state particular, and that's like down the train track where I get in my life, and I show y'all how I got there and whatnot, blah blah blah. And so, that's all this top stuff about the truth, lie, uh, and then it's all or none, or all or no states. And so then I put right here, it says, how to pin, and I put an underline because I'm going to pin maps. So that's why I had the moment of silence, is I'm going to tear down all this. I have like 8 maps coming in. And so I'm literally, each week, I'm going to go live each week and do one. There's 27, and there's like 6 or 7, 8 or lines of the stanza. So this one's like for the stanza, and the stories are for like the other whiteboards. I'm going to go through each story. One week I'm going to do each, the preface one week, the next non-chapter chapter the next week. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the process that I've been sharing it mentally in my mind, and doing, and asking people if they've done it or not. I'm just going to do it myself, then that way I can say I did it, I pinned it, stories on the map, blah, 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 and that's kind of how I got to where I got, etc., etc. See, yeah, so if you notice, it says Sharpie versus a dry erase board. And if you look right there, and you look like right there, there's a reason why I got Sharpie. I want it to be permanent so that my stuff ain't getting erased by my own big hands. Man, wife said I needed to get into more exercise. I need to get in shape better and transform the round shape I'm in into a more straighter shape. I don't know how I felt about that. I felt like, well, I probably should do what she says, or else I'm going to be rolling down the street. No place to go. Not a home either. Because she done kicked me out. Why? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Oh, what I put on there. Oh, and so the whole point. Oh, how to point a spot. So we're looking for an X, a 10 by 10 spot. From a generalized, yes, we believe the Forrest fenn throw the chase. You can get to it with a poem and a map. That's 4 states you got to look through. Okay, that's a lot of looking, man. That's a lot of looking. So I'm gonna generalize that. Like I have on the big board, it says KISS. Keep it simple, silly. I think Forrest said get back in the box too, or something like that. So I'm gonna use them words too to my advantage. Now I got boxes right here. It's all about perspective. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to share this mental perspective I had at looking at the thrill of the chase. And I'm trying to put it on whiteboards so that it's a whole mess. This is a complete mess. This entire thing. This is like scrambled eggs 10 times. And when you sit there, them old commercials about this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. And they scramble up them eggs. Yeah, there's a reason why they say that. I don't know why, though. But, so, it's to take from a general perspective of a poem and a map that covers 4 states. That covers 4 states. Unless you truly believe, then it covers 1 state that you're searching for a place that Forrest fenn may or may not have been to based on just having a map and a poem. So that'll take you a long time to cover just 1 state grid searching and trying to look. So for stanza 1, stanza one. Matter of fact, we're gonna do stanza one right now. In a sense, I ain't got my other map in yet, or one of the maps I got. So I reordered that Shiloh map that got signed by Shiloh. That map, the poem. That one's being given away in a drawing. And so I ordered another one so I could put stickers on it. So I could go over the stanzas and whatnot. But I think this bears in importance. And this is kind of like jumping the line or the gun, but if I'm coming into this treasure hunt looking for, and again, this is all a yes basis. If it's a no basis, then I mean, I don't know. Okay. But in my mind, on this train ride, this is a yes basis. Yes, I believe a person hid a 10 by 10 box full of gold somewhere, possibly in 4 states. Now, out of those 4 states, I truly believe that he hid it in one particular state. Now, out of that one particular state, I had to narrow down not where I thought Forrest Fenn had been, but the only way I could know where Forrest Fenn had been out of the entire state without having to cover it square inch by square inch is to go to the only source available at the time, which would be, if I had the poem, I got the poem out of the book. Now, there's you could get the poem online, but I mean, how did the poem come about is a good question. Would the poem, do you guys think that the poem would have come out for looking for a chest alone? That is a good question that I wonder if anybody has an answer to it. Yes, that's a simple yes or no question. Do you think that the Forrest Fenn poem, if that's all you needed, would it just come out and just a chest that was placed somewhere within 4 states? Simple yes or no question. Yeah, you believe that, or no, you don't. I don't even know what the question was. But that's okay. But it says, and the reason why it's again, people will sit there and say, well, I can give you directions and not give you the right. You could, and that would lead a person in so many directions and so many possibilities. And the whole point about if I'm trying to look for something, I'm definitely trying to beat people to the punch. I'm going to try to process this. And one of the things my father would always tell me is process of elimination. And I don't, it's just something that stuck in my head. Is process of elimination. And so, out of the process of elimination, to find a chest that a man hid in one of the estates, I could go inch by inch, or I could go to the next source, which would be the book. In the book, in the first stanza, it says, as I have gone alone in there. So he's telling you that, yes, he has gone alone in 4 states. Right? And with my trust, because the whole presumption is, can you get, and this is just off of the poem, can you find the chest with just the poem? Yes, you can. As I have gone alone in there. Yes, he's telling us he's gone alone in 4 possible states. That's a lot of states to cover. So that's why I got under here stanza 1. I have Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. Stanza 2, stanza 3, stanza 4. So as each week goes by, I'll try to go with a stanza in a sense of trying to ramble myself and irritate some of my brain waves that might get angry at me for questioning myself or raising up hair, questioning thoughts. And it's like, The possibility is yes, it is possible. But to make it easier, process of elimination is I need to go from 4 states down to 1 state. So all we know is with his treasures bowl, and then he says I can keep my secret where. So we know he's keeping a secret somewhere. Well, we know he's keeping a secret in 1 of 4 states. Because again, the chest, I mean, unless he put it in a boundary line and put half in 1 state and half in another state, which is possible. I mean, there can only be one winner, right? There can only be 1 state. But off of stanza 1, we're still left with 4 possible states. And hint of riches new and old. No, that's it. Oh, I wrote beside there, though, like in my book, I wrote beside there that stanza 1, in order for me to understand, oh, poor metallic thing just committed suicide. It jumped off of this thing. I'll resurrect it from the dead. There it is, back to life. Stanza 1 is telling me, yep, it's possible. You can find a chest with a poem on a map. I have to unequivocally 100% agree that that is a possible thing. But ask yourself this question: does it make it easier knowing where somebody has been versus guessing where somebody has been? And I think that's why I put key, like for the first stanza is key, and I have My War for Me and Flywater. That those 2 non-chapters that were in TTOTC were the ones that were. My War for Me was showing me a aerial perspective of the lifeline in which Forrest Fenn was throwing these stories out. And along that lifeline, there's states, which, well, we're going to go through this book and we're going to find some cities and states and we're going to put them on a map. Because I've been telling people, well, try pinning it to a map. Well, that's what we're going to do. And so that's why I got all them different Sharpie colors, because there's like 27 different, there's going to be 20 different 7 colors. Oh, man. I don't even know if I got 27 different colored pins. I might have to see if they've got like a pin kit that's got like different colors. Oh, I guess it wouldn't matter, huh? Because like if I keep it to the pin coordination to, oh, the book. I forgot about this. Oh, hold on. I got cough again. This cough drop's not helping. Like, what does it sound with that dead air? Like, all of a sudden he's talking, there's this, and all of a sudden it's dead silence. Oh, what happened? What happened? People, oh, I just dropped that. So, well, see, that was quick. You didn't even see me disappear. I was that fast. So, like, part of this here is in the stanza, the poem, I got these little sticky things. So, oh, check this out. Well, I guess it's like more so like right here. So I started rewriting in that book. The one yeah. And it had YouTube on there, yeah. So it's to follow, I guess, kind of the thrill of the chase in this retelling of like how I got there, whatnots. But you probably can't read that, and neither can I. But green, so green is K. K is for Kiwis Road. Aww. And then we got F, which is for Forrest Fenn. Oh, that's messing with that. And then we got A. So the color code P. What I got P for? Oh, so P is using these stickies to show like on the map how just the poem can bring you to a spot, or I guess a state in which the chest was hidden. So there's that color for P. The yeah, the A is for the all other information because oh, and the big whiteboard, the bigger schemes of life to myself. I have to remind myself that I'm talking to myself because if I don't, then I like get self conscious and self aware, and then all of a sudden like I'm worried about what people are thinking and saying, and like oh look at this dude, he's holding up a whiteboard looking off into space. Well, that's because you believe it or not, there's a method to the madness. You guys are feeling there's that like ticker going on. You're like thinking like, boy, this guy is either dumb or just like really dumb. Well, I guess I'll tell you what. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I'm definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed either. If that makes sense. But the purple is all other information: internet, YouTubers, TikTok shows. So, hence the color coordination. Try to color coordinate it. Oh, but see, there's that one right there. So that's the Trinidad. So the Trinidad, when I get that map, the one that's like Shiloh sign map, the one that's been given away, is as I go through this stanza, I can sit there and read, and then on that map apply, is this information coming from other people that would put it in a particular state? Is this information that I feel biased about? Which most likely I'll have a lot of that out there. I mean, Forrest Fenn, if he's talking about the poem, I'm probably going to have blue in all 4 states quite a lot with this stanza. Stanzas? Stanzes? What do you call a bunch of stanzas? A lot of people that are tired of standing. P for so that's the poem and map only, like poem and only. So that goes on there. But the triangle is the Trinidad because it's the orange, and that's because that represents the colors. My father, he likes fluorescent orange, which is one of the reasons why I'm probably not going to make it to the function at the junction this year. Is I'm probably heading over East Coast to go visit Pops for like 2 or 3 months. So need to help him do some straightening up around and whatnots, or whatever he needs. But the Trinidad is, it puts, if I look at a map, and if I'm looking at a state, and I'm trying to narrow down where I would be wanting to search, I got the chest that I'm looking for. So I now become one side. But we know that that poem and that chest is out there because of Forrest. So in order for me to continue that, I have to look into Forrest to find out where he may have hid something. And hence that's why there's the triangle color orange tab that'll, go along the map and stuff. But yeah, I'll just sit there and like take some pictures and maps as I put them up and start pinning them and whatnot. Going over the stanzas and whatnot. I don't have a direct time or anything. I might do 3 in a day, or 1 in a week, or 1 in a month, or 1 every other month, or I don't know. I don't know how this train has no time schedule because we don't believe in time no more. Unless it's time to eat. We believe in that time. There's always time to eat. There's always time to sing. We believe in that time to sing. Yep. Times by the fire sharing stories. Those are good things we believe in. And it's because of those reasons that we regret or will miss out when we don't go to the forest or the function at the junction come this year. So yeah. Oh, so yeah, that was kind of it. And then San Lazarus got the San Lazarus. So that's kind of the direction for anybody who stayed long enough to hear me out. That's the direction that in which I'm going to go with this channel, and just letting people know I'm going to ruin some maps by sticking holes in them. I'm going to turn them all into religious maps, kind of like conquesting with the Catholic religion. Anybody catch that one? Huh? Funny, huh? And now I'm wondering, did anybody laugh at that when I said I'm turning these maps into religious maps? because I'm pinning them, putting so many holes in them. I'm making holy maps. Come on. Did anybody laugh? Hit 1. Just press 1. Hit 2 if you think I was dumb by even explaining that stupid dad joke. Hit 3 if you just didn't even pay attention. We'll probably get a lot of nothing because still nobody likes to. I mean, there's some yammering going on between people, which I love because that's the whole idea of the Miner's Magic. There's an intercom and a voice going off up above, but people can sit there and yammer. 6. 6. I didn't even know there was a 6 out there. Now we're going to have to come up with what 6 is. So, and there, yes, I would have to say religion. They say religion and politics are bad subjects to talk about. And in a sense, I agree and disagree. And there's reasons why I agree and disagree, but to, in a sense, say it, I think when you try to talk about something that people are so either ingrained or not ingrained, but to hold tightly their belief or non-belief in absolute either side. Like there's this side, that side. You know, there's the good, there's the evil, there's the left wing, there's the right wing, there's some just plain nuts, you know, wing nuts. Get it? Come on. Somebody laugh at the wing nut? No. But so it's that control, that finite control, that when you're taking that control away from somebody's belief, or when you're taking that control away from what somebody thinks, I mean, that's not really taking the control. I mean, if it's changing perceptions and stuff. But on the other hand, having an open mind is, I think, a very valuable aspect of any religion or political view, because it's when you base an opinion with just one side, then it's just a one-sided opinion. When you base an opinion off of 2 or more sides, then you're making an informed opinion. Now, when you're making an opinion based off as many possible situations or scenarios, then I think you're like totally enveloping that awesome power of, like, you know, knowledge and information that your own body will soon tell you, you know, you're seeing is believing, what you're hearing is what you're hearing, and what people are doing and saying. I mean, that shows in a sense, if that makes any sense. Probably not. So put 2 pennies down on the track and get them sharp real quick. Train's going by. Ooh, ooh. But yeah, as I've gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where, and hint of riches new and old. Yeah, I can definitely find the chest in possibly 4 states. I'm trying to get it down to one of the 4 states, seeing as how there can only be one location. But to help me narrow that down, I'm in my best interest, I have to now include, besides a map and a poem and myself going to places, I now have to include not just the present and what I was hoping the future to be like, but I have to now include the past and what it was like. And the only way I can go there to where he has gone is to either A, be Forrest Fenn and relive those stories, or at least B, be his shadow to the places that he lived those stories. Which, here comes in the thrill of the chase, the book, and the stories thereof. So, forest or not to forest? That is the question. Would it make more sense to searchers to try to become or follow in the footsteps of Forrest Fenn, to find a state that would be more plausible to fit a poem and a map? Or Do you not need to be Forrest Fenn or know any of his stories or pretend or think or well, see, that's a tricky word, think. I'm always trying not to think because when I think, I get myself in trouble. That's what my dad told me. And he's been right quite a lot. So I try not to think, but then I use the word think, and then it's like, see, I have distraction tool. Distraction tool. People probably can't even hear a word I'm saying. It's okay. I don't mind. Whole lot of shenanigans going on. Think like Fenn, and the only way. And so these absolutes, I love and hate these absolutes. You don't absolutely have to be Forrest Fenn. You don't absolutely have to think like Forrest Fenn. But if you absolutely want a better chance at trying to find something that he left and shorten your time frame of searching, I think it would absolutely benefit you to try to at least follow or hear where that person did something, that he wrote a poem about how to get to that location where he did something. Thus, past, present, and time can all become one in the thrill of the chase, and hopefully you can find a special spot that Forrest has been in there alone that he holds dear to himself in secret. Oh, well, I think I did quite well for stanza one, if I must say so for to myself, even though I don't watch any of my stuff, I don't review it or anything like that. It's probably ridiculous yammer, which is okay. I don't mind. Oh, chat. I can go in here and skim over some of this chats. Hi, Luli. How you doing? Hi, Bill. Thanks for stopping by, Bill. How you doing? You got some funny stuff out there, Bill. You do. I'll tell you that. Oh, yeah. So, throughout this whole process, we're going to be doing some stickies on one map, and then I'm going to do a whole bunch of pinning on another map, and I'm just gonna go live as I review my reimagining this journey that had taken, and kind of like digital reading it to myself in my diary here that y'all are part of on this train ride of Miners Madness, and that way when I look back at it again for the third, fourth, fifth, sixth time. No, this is probably like the third, fourth, fifth, sixth time that I've looked at this. That, yeah, it makes more sense and more plausibility of for me, in myself, in my story, that I feel self-validated and that my self-bias was good enough for me. Because, I mean, if it was truly found, the Forrest Fenn chest truly found at 9 Mile Hole across the river, 150 foot up, away from the bank, then, how many others have been at least to that parking lot across from that spot? And I bet quite a few people. And I think later on in the poem where it talks about meekness and stuff, it's things like that I think a person who reads the poem is probably looking at the poem and just reading it and trying to apply it to a map somehow. But a helpful hint I think that Forrest had given, I wouldn't say helpful hint, but just something he said, as in learning the meaning of words, played a valuable, important thing, because that triggered the adventure in rigorous exploration of evolution of communication. How people speak, talk, and wrote. Though I'm not very good at it at all, and I haven't done a lot of research at all. But it just kind of comes down to what were the things that, in order for me to understand a place that he has gone or what he considers a treasure, I could read it as just those things. But for him to sit there and say, learn about these things, learn what these words mean in this poem, read it over and over, and then go back and read the book and kind of, for me, I guess, marry them together so that it formed a bigger story in a sense. For me, it was a timeline, a trail of breadcrumbs of memories that kind of took me along this poem, that I can kind of line this poem up, to some stories and then to a map. And we're going to see if that happens, because I'm interested. I'm very interested, because, I mean, what other methods did other people use for their search locations and stuff like that. And mine's not the unique one, and mine's not the only one. I'm sure there's plenty of other people who thought the same thing. Just think like Forrest, be like Forrest, go where Forrest has been, etc. But I'm just kind of taking my story to this next level, which is putting it on the digital memory main train. That's right. Been rolling that track around forever. Better than VHS, and that stuff get eaten up in that thing. Oh, didn't you hate when that happened? And then you're all like trying to like pull it out very cautiously, trying to pop the top off, trying to like undo it. And then you gotta sit there and wind it up, trying to get the wrinkles out. Like, 8-tracking it and stuff. Or regular cassette taping. Same thing. Wind it up. Some people don't know about it, other people do. But yeah, such is life. So I have, like I said, I have no idea when I'm going to go on about my silly little spouts about the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. But in the title, like I said, it says Forrest or not to Forrest. That is the question. And for me, it was to be Forrest's shadow. So the answer was to be Forrest's shadow, since I can't be him and live his emotions and his memories. I can at least try to go in the shadow of the places that he's been. But because of because of the locations and stuff, there's stories, and with those stories come emotions. And I think that was part of where the emotional and logical kind of tied in to the importance and value in what somebody was saying, in this case Forrest Fenn. The stories that he was sharing about were Forrest Fenn had plenty of stories. I'm sure you guys would agree, gals would agree, people would agree. But in order, so it's, they say it's like fishing. The chest was a lure out. There was the hook, the bait and switch to get you in, and it makes sense, because if you want somebody to listen to you, you show them a little bling bling, and their eyes and ears perk up. Like, what's going on? How can we get some of that? That's, the Spaniards were coming over here and doing that. I mean, the gold was being valued and treasured and pressured for ages. But for some reason, all of a sudden, becoming not valuable and precious to Forrest Fenn, in a sense, enough to gift it, or gift it away, give it away, or at least mislay it for future use, for somebody else to come along and find it to complete that usage circle, which is, in the poem here. And, it's just interesting journeys and interesting perspectives, and I'm just sharing mine, and I like going on other people's channels and listening to everybody else's that do share theirs, because it adds more to the fuel to the fire that of a burnt old engine. I mean, it was out there. We were all that close. But did people stop looking because something was found? Or did people keep continuing? Like me, I continued beyond the thrill of the chase by trying to keep learning more stuff and doing more stuff, even though I'm very, very lazy. Oh, I mean, not lazy. I'm just a person that enjoys not doing anything. I really do. And, yeah, no, hey, I didn't get in a good round shape for nothing. There's a method and a madness to that one. It's been winter. Come on. Can I use that as an excuse? Oh, yes, you can. You know why? Because you can do whatever you want, mister. It's your world. Yes, I can. See, this is what happens. When you start talking to yourself, you literally start talking to yourself. I mean, it's a good thing, but it could be a bad thing. People might look at it as a bad thing. Like, this guy's really crazy. And I don't have to agree with you. This guy probably is really crazy. So, with that being said, appreciate y'all stopping by. This train is coming down to a massive screeching halt, I think. Um, if I didn't say hi to you, I do say hi to you now, everybody. Thanks again for stopping by. If I didn't read your chats, I apologize for not reading your chats, but I apologize for reading some of them and apologize for not reading some of them. Oh, wait, I heard something about parrot. I talked to my dog and did parrot. Yeah, it kind of hit me a little bit when I found out about your parrot, though your parrot was probably gone way before I even heard or met you, Bill. But the idea of having a stuffed pet was the next thing. But I'm like, I'm totally gonna stuff Kiwi, and if he can't do it where she's all fluffy, then I'm definitely gonna have him do it where she's posing the eagle pose, and then I'm gonna have her forever in my background. You know what I mean? Because she won't be squawking in my ear. She won't be yelling at me, trying to tell me to do this, trying to feed her, trying to get her water. No, I hope and I pray for the longest life of my bird, but such is such, and I hope everything just is good. But that's that front. Nearest bird vet was 175 miles. Damn. Yeah, ours is like we have a vet that does aviary. Aviary? How do you say that? Aviary? Pet doctoring? Because you got horse, canine, uh, equestrian is the horses. And so bird, avian flu, whatever. Anyhow, I was just trying to sound smart. Don't mind me. But I went in there and I had taken a picture because of the bird stuff and whatnot. Yeah, I had a scary time 2 times with Kiwi, and it's helped kind of change my perspective on things in life, and especially how fragile and valuable life is. I mean, we've had pets, and old age, things happen, they pass. I'm sure everybody's gone through a pet loss. It hurts. It's like when your own flesh and blood. But to lose Kiwi, I mean, yeah, that would have been hard. So I'm glad that we have a veterinary clinic that does birds too. But yeah, oh, so I do. Again, I'll just as channels go on or time goes on or channel YouTube. Yeah, shout out to those people that are going to function at the junction this year. I hope you guys have a good time. And I wish I could say I look forward to it, though I do look forward to pictures and videos that will surface of the event as it be, you know. May not be there for the entire weekend, but who knows? Maybe I'll fly back just for the weekend and then drive out there in the car. I don't know, but that'd be a little bit too much though. Because then I can go. Because then that'd give me a good break from Pops. Not that all these years him being on the East Coast and me being on this side isn't bad enough. But asylum in New Zealand. You going to seek asylum in New Zealand? Ooh. I had a white wolf that was killed by a speeding car. That sucks. Yeah. No bueno when people lose pets. It happens. So we got ourselves a pet cemetery going on over here though. Yeah, stop by. Trees are moving and whatnot. You know why? Because we got cats buried under there. We got one tree that's Yeah, that one's the tree itself. Potion was buried at another place, but we got a tree to put over where Potion was buried, and then that tree came here. This seemed to be our final resting spot where we're at now, and so we get a few creatures that no longer exist hanging around the grounds. But I've wanted to see the new version of that Stephen King's Pet Cemetery. I wonder if that was any good. It probably was. But yeah, so I can't wait until my maps come in. But I kind of can wait because I really don't want to take down these whiteboards or my paper. Because I mean, they got like intrinsic, like visual value about the perception, and if I start taking it down, I mean, these two boards right here alone are massive whiteboards that are part of this right here, so I'll probably leave those two up. I'll probably take those two whiteboards you guys can't see and move them over here. Nope, I don't want to do that. I'm going to probably try to move. Nope, they got to stay right there. Damn. Because I'll show you the whiteboards later on in life, if I ever get to it. But I mean, there's a bunch of scrabbles on there. Like the needless stuff. Like stuff that I was beyond the thrill of the chase looking at and reading and writing down. Relationship stuff too is on there. But I mean, again, it's so I guess I put it this way, in a sense that in 2019, when I got into the thrill of the chase, shortly before that, I was working on what I was calling Pioneer Gold, which is just a journey in life trying to find what I guess happiness was, the journey of the pursuit of happiness, as they call it. And that's what I was on, the pursuit of happiness. Trying to figure it out and whatnot. And 2019 kind of perpetuated, or totally slingshotted, like a whole learning curve and evolution in my way of thinking and personality and stuff. But before then, Pioneer Gold was about at least finding out the meanings and trying to be mindfulness, selflessness, and finding peacefulness within myself. You know what I mean? If I can learn to be selfless for others, if I can learn to be mindful of others, then I can find more peace in myself because I know others have found peace. And so, there's that kind of, so that self-happy comes from, but because, that mindset coming into the thrill of the chase, and then all of a sudden the thrill of the chase, 3 days to sunrise, there was a whole bunch of different stories going on. And when I read My War for Me, it kind of makes sense, and it kind of ties in the thrill of the chase and what these stories are about and how to use them and for me, what I was looking for. And Flywater was one of the stories or chapters or whatever you call it that kind of really solidified My War for Me being the logical sense of how I was going to look at the thrill of the chase. But Flywater became that emotional sense of how I was looking at the thrill of the chase. And for me, it was tying the entirety together with emotion and logic that kind of brought me to the Madison River over several other possible locations that I haven't even thought or looked, versus the millions of other possible locations it could have been, especially over the thousands that people believe that it could have been in. And so that's what this journey is about, that I've said already like 8 times, because who doesn't like repeating himself? Because I got COVID short-term memory loss. That's right, you heard it here first. COVID Alzheimer's. short-term memory loss. It's probably what I'm like. My eyes always look like they're closed, but believe you me, I can see everything I need to see. And right now, all I need to see is this thin little line. That's this, this, and this. That's it. I'm calling it. Calling it COVID eyes. I got COVID eyes now. I'm no longer allergic to. I'm no longer allergic to kiwi, though I am if I ever still need to be. But I got COVID eyes now, so that's what it is. Allergicness to kiwi and COVID eyes. That's all I got to say about that one for now. But don't forget, shovel some more coals while you're at it into the boiler and let it get some more smoke boiling out. So I hope you guys come along for the ride, and if not, it was great meeting you. It was fun knowing you. But I'm sure we'll see you guys again. Don't forget to bring some shiny to throw on the track. You never know, you might need a sharp object versus a dull trading tool. Because you could trade with a lot more with some meat and stuff. Yeah, Kiwi, definitely Kiwi's allergic to me. She's sitting there yelling at me all the time. Feed me. I mean, so like the whole training thing is kind of going along-ish. No, not really, because yeah, my fault. My bad. Okay, internal sneeze. You ready? I'll hold this. Oh, my Lanta! I almost popped these things out of my ears. Did you see it? It moved like a whole eighth of an inch out. All that pressure. Anybody? Anybody? Internal sneezed. Anybody? Anybody? Damn. I'm training my bird to say this word. 2 words. And I bless you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, bless you too. I hope you guys are blessed. Because I have been. And hence, that's how I'm able to try to pay it forward to you guys. Hopefully, there's a video out there that I made, but apparently I didn't put it at the top because there's a reason. Maybe you tune into next time I'm on, which I have no idea when that'll be. I'll have it pinned. Because who doesn't like a little shiny for free? And that's right. I'm going to give you guys a little shiny for free. Why? Because I got nothing else better to do than to go with the Forrest Fenn book. You know, that Kiwi totally enjoyed to read with me, as you can see. I read, she ate. It was a dinner date, as you can tell. But, I mean, who doesn't like listening to stories? And people share, you know, their trials and tribulations in life. Forrest shared his. And so, I'm going to kind of share how I used his to get where I was looking. And it makes me wonder if anybody's done the same thing. See, like here, so like fly water. Like, I mean, I marked this sucker up. I mean, look at all that highlighted stuff. Screenshot. Take screenshots. I mean, I was looking at the fish. I mean, at the end of his rainbow fishing hole. Bunch of rainbow trout sitting right there. He's gonna be at the end of that rainbow fishing. But then again, I mean, that might not have been his favorite fishing hole. But it does say my secret fishing hole. Go figure. Oh, what's this? Fly water, page 129. This is a little extra content for people who've stayed along long enough. Little extra content for people who have stayed around long enough to listen to me yammer. Stanza 1. I mean, this kind of fits my stanza 1. Oh, wait. First paragraph of something. Those great places which were personal secrets to me then. Oh, my lantern. Wait a minute. Stanza 1. As I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret word. And then all of a sudden, in Flywater, page 125, top, those great places which were personal secrets to me then are now busy with the flourish of fishermen and women who cast a midget or a floating caddis upon those same waters, never knowing I had been there, or even caring yes or no. I always thought that space was mine alone, on my lantern, as I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold. As I've got alone in there and with my memories bold, I can keep my secret where and hint of riches new and old. Uh-oh. I always thought that space was mine alone, and many of the memories there bred are even now still so personal that they exclude the intrusion of strangers. How dare they go there? Yeah, back in 2019. That's how I figured out for me that it was part of the emotional connection that I was putting stanza 1 with the thrill of the chase, the stories with Forrest Fenn. And the only way I would be able to kind of come close to knowing what treasures meant to him, besides words in a dictionary or the internet, was to at least try to hear him or read him. And if I presumed that Forrest had passed away, then all I had was the the thrill of the chase. And so I went through highlighting things that I thought were emotional or logical. So top of page 125 of Flywater, for me, is the emotional connection with the first stanza. And there you have it on how, that's almost how I got to the Madison River with just that right there. But that's just that right there. That's just me, you know. But there's plenty more because we got. That's just me. I'm following along one story. Ooh, can you hear that? Like, I don't know. I can't. That's just one story for me that helped me connect with the poem, to connect the poem to a map. Without it, it would have been harder to connect a poem to a map. But with a few words or even a few paragraphs or sentences, it can change a person's perspective. So, forest or not to forest? For me, that right there, first paragraph of 125 of TTOTC, chapter Flywater, explains the first stanza of the poem in an emotional sense for me to for a place, a good place to try to start looking, or at least to start putting pins on a map. And it's a good starting point for me, at least from my perspective. But there's other different ways of how I got there too, though. So that's spread it out a little bit. You gotta take this thing and oh, did you guys hear that yelp? So the Carter girl is with the puppy outside playing, and oh, it's funny on Facebook today. I shared a picture, and I'll share this with you before I go. Is Carter's just laying on the couch, okay? And so, like, if you imagine, like, this is the couch section, just imagine, not my body, but this is the couch, this is the edge of the couch, and the floor's down here, okay? Well, you can't, well, okay. The floor's down here, the edge of the couch, then you're sitting up here, you sit, legs over the edge. So Carter was sitting on the couch with her head just kind of sitting above the edge of the couch. Well, the puppy come up running over, jumped on Carter, and like sat right on her head, and her head ended up like going over the edge of the couch because he was just sitting pushing on her head, and I got a picture of that. It was just funny. It was cute as hell. And you could clearly, I mean, he just totally went over there, and just like jumps right up on there and totally knew what he was doing. He was planting his ass right on her head just to bug the piss out of her. It was cute, so I took a picture of it. So yeah. But anyhow, imagination is key. Part of it, so seeing as somebody said key, and it just kind of, for me, it looking at the thrill of the chase. Oh, this earbud's falling out. Here we go. You're out. So the thrill of the chase. It was a pleasure, and it was icing on the cake. It was the extra go juice to hear videos of Forrest, to read scrapbooks that Forrest had written. Because again, in my mind, playing the story out Forrest didn't exist. There was a method of how to play this out. You know what I mean? I could come into this chase looking at what everybody else has put out there and try to filter it all out and try to get, well, what people are thinking here, people are thinking there, or people think Forrest was here, people think I came in from, well, we'll flip this sideways. I came in from the side, from a different angle, and instead of coming from the filter side, which was very helpful, I had to resort back to the basics and start back from a single point. And that single point would be the existence of Forrest Fenn. If the existence is true of Forrest Fenn, and then he's sharing a story about a chest being out there, and I believe that to be true, then the only way I can connect the two is to at least know about that person, read about that person, and anything and everything I could, which is all that other stuff. But if I wanted to find out specifically what he was leaving, I had to learn about just what he was saying and not what everybody else or anything else was saying. And, that's how I got to, Flywater 125, top paragraph, matching kind of the emotional side of stanza 1 of, the poem to, one of the coolest treasure hunts I've been a part of. And, probably one of the only ones I've really been a part of. So, either case, you make new friends along the way. You lose some too. It's a shame. Look forward to making new relationships. I do not look forward to losing any relationships. But there is the one journey that we all must take alone, that we all have never been on yet, unless there's a few selective who have. And if you have, please share it, because we like to learn about that stuff. And that's the death. It's a process of life. We should neither fear it nor ignore it, but rather embrace it and learn about it. Because then the more you learn and embrace, the less there is to fear. At least that's what I think. And so with that, somebody said, thanks for the advice. I like that. And I think I'm going to have to probably sign off. Oh, unless you guys got like a good perfect timer that you guys would like to see me come on and talk about this kind of stupid, crazy stuff. Throw times, dates up there, either now or in the comments or whatever. Probably read them, won't read them. Probably come on sometime during the week or something. Oh, you know what? I'll probably end up coming on as soon as that first map comes in, so I can start pinning the first stanza. Or not pinning the first stanza on this map, but at least putting stickers on this particular map and pinning the rest. So I look forward to this adventure that I'm going to retake again, and sharing that mental journey that I had created from following another mental journey, and sharing that mental journey on here, creating a more digital journey that I mentally took. If that ain't crazy enough for you, then I don't know what is. That's why I call it miner's madness, because it's the madness of a miner who's gone mad. I mean, it's just the things I think of. They're either to myself or not. It's, yeah, you know what I mean. It is what it is, people. And with that, I appreciate you guys. Keep doing the good that you guys keep on doing. I appreciate that, because there's nothing I like more than hearing somebody doing positive. It puts a smile on my face, because regardless if somebody doing good, that's a good thing to be good about. Somebody going bad, hopefully people can reach out to each other to help those people who can or can't, at least show them the direction to kind of go or not go. We just had a friend come up out of the blue, sit there and get some information and some help from the wife and whatnot. So, I mean, that's one of the good things about, the type of person that you can try to be. At least try to be a reliable, resourceful person. I'm not. I'll tell you that right now. I try to be honest. But, I mean, my wife's more reliable and everything in so many different ways that I can't stop talking more positive than anybody can stop talking negative about her. I mean, she is one of the things, her personality, the way she was just designed and created is just, unique to its own, as to us all. But I had to work at my relationship. I had to work on my own relationship with myself. And she was there when I didn't even really know who I was. So for her to stick around, and then now we're on the other side of that rainbow, per se, of providing from negative ish memories to more positive ish memories, getting to the other side of the rainbow, then hopefully from the past to the present in the now, I can merge it so that it's always more positive than it is negative. That way it leaves a lasting impression on people, which I think a bunch of you people will do anyway, because y'all's done it anyhow. So, man, this guy does not know how to say goodbye, does he? He likes to listen to himself. Anybody got anything they want to add, talk about, chat about? Finish this stuff, poem, book, the direction I'm going in. You got like 5 seconds to start typing. I'm just kidding. No, seriously. You got like 4 seconds. If you got questions, pop it up there. If not, 3. No, life is good. Even when there's a heart thing sitting on here. I like it. I'll add that heart too. There. Now get off of my thingy. I can't see it now. Oh, it's still up there. I can't make it go away. Life is good even when it's bad. And I would have to agree with you. I like movies. Movies are one of the, instead of reading books and stuff, I like movies because it fills in the headache and struggle of trying to imagine what somebody. So okay, if I told you imagine what a lighter was and you didn't know what a lighter was, I mean, what it does it have a color? Does it got a shape? Does it? I mean, is there any kind of what? But if I sit there and say, hey, this is a blue lighter, I'm not 100%. There you go. There's a blue lighter. You know what I mean? So I don't have to try to imagine what. That's just. And in books, they got a lot of like information that somebody's trying to share to fill in a picture and to create a mental picture for you that is like not. I like me some TV shows and some movies. I mean, they all got stories and plots to them. Things that people have done or things people will do. Something I always tell my kids and my wife. Well, she don't believe me, but if you look at the cross comparisons, I mean, we were just watching two and a half guns, 2.5 naked guns, or naked 2.5 guns, or something like that. And it was, she would say it was like a 1980s movie. I mean, look at the, and I'll say this as look at the push from the movie corporate world for solar panels and electric cars back then. And she didn't catch it, but it's like, I see that now. Advertisement. They were advertising, yeah, Naked Gun 2.5. They were advertising in that movie solar panels and electric vehicles in 1980s or whatever. And then you look at it today, it's like, oh, we're gonna like go. They've been doing this stuff for years. There's nothing. I mean, I wouldn't say there's nothing new, but there's new stuff. But it is what it is. But anyhow, yeah, check it out. Watch Naked Gun 2.5. I mean, it's been a while since I watched it. When I was watching it again today, I couldn't help but keep laughing because the stupid stuff that they were doing. And it's like, who does that? Apparently these people do. Why? Because it's a show. Well, hopefully they're selling something good in their show. And with, see, I just don't like being alone. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta go see what Kiwi's doing anyway. Terrorizing Mom. Mom's all like, probably got her locked up in the bedroom already. Poor bird. I need to work on that separation anxiety a little bit better with her. And I try. That's why I'm out here. She's in there. Gotta work on that so that she could hear me and know I'm still around even though she don't see me. And, it's working. It's working. Ish. That's what we'll say about ish. But yeah. So I don't have a designated time when I come on and whatnot, but I don't think I'll ever will. My channel is not that important enough, and what I have to say isn't either. So I'm fishing for compliments. Whoosh. It's okay, Kiwi Road. You're doing okay. Whoosh. We like the content you share. Whoosh. Yep, you're dumb. We'll throw that fish back. I'm just kidding. We'll take dumb fish too. Still gotta eat. And it makes good smoked meat one way or another, though I don't like fish. Though I do like bass. Bass is a nice, fish less tasting. It tastes less fishy, especially if you cook it right. But then again, so is a lot of other stuff. Anyhow, I'll think about wrapping up with that one. I got me some mini whiteboards to go put some story names on there and whatnot, and probably, like I said, come on here and I'll just go live and read the book, talk to myself, and ponder the great unknowns, like I normally do. But this time, I'll bring you all along for the ride. Sounds good to me. So with that, keep calm, treasure on. Thanks for stopping by. And don't forget to look up that video, Forrest Fenn coin giveaway. And I think it's got a number 988 in it. So that, share the word, spread the word, raise that mental health awareness. Because who doesn't like to know that they, too, are important? Because we all are. Whether we know it or not. I mean, you may think that nobody likes you, but there's somebody out there that does like you. You may not just know it. Doesn't mean it's not there. Schroeder's cat thing is kind of like that. If I said it right, Schroeder's cat. So, keep calm, treasure on, and you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, or time of day, or whatever it is. Because I'm about to enjoy the rest of mine, since the puppies are outside. Alright. Peace out, people. Adios. Da, 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 da. Oh. Da, 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 da.